Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. Another episode of Be You podcast, part of Supermom's Magic Circle. And today we have Alka, a really amazing, wonderful woman. We're going to learn so much from her. But before I dive in my special guest for tonight, let me share with you that I have one slot available. If you want to take your business to the next level, if you feel that you are ready to scale your business, just send me a flyer, and then I know that you are ready for a business clarity session that I will offer for free. I do one or two calls each month. So pick yours, send me the flyer, and then we can create some magic together. Now, let me introduce you my amazing guest for tonight, Alka Sharma. She is incredible. She is a mom. She is a real estate investor in Toronto, in Canada. She has an amazing podcast called Ask the Experts with Alka. I've been in her podcast and I love the experience. Just go and try it out. She's amazing. She's a very passionate woman and she's all about helping others, especially other women, to understand and to get confidence in investing because she is a single mom and she really knows how hard it was for her to get and live a life of financial freedom. She's really experienced in dancing as well, ballroom dancing, national and international level. She is amazing in that high of dance performance. She has lots of experience that she's going to share with us. I cannot wait to learn more about real estate investor and how to be you. She's also an author. We will talk about her book as well and whatever she brings on the table because she has lots of magic to offer. Let's welcome Alka. Welcome in the Be You show. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Roxandra. Love the introduction. Absolutely. And thank you for allowing me to be on.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for saying yes to it. And as I said early on, I love your podcast and thank you for giving me a chance there as well because I love what you do. And it's so much into what you do that I don't even know where do we start. Let's just, whatever you want to share, tell us a bit about your story, how everything started with Alka. Who is Alka?
Wow, that is a beautiful question. I find Roxandra Alka, she is three-dimensional. I'm three-dimensional, I'm multifaceted, in the sense that when I first got into entrepreneurship, I started in the health and fitness, and I opened my fitness studio. It was a boutique style fitness studio for women. And what inspired me, it was a dream that became a reality. And I knew when I was a teenager, I was bullied at school. When I was 15 years of age, I was bullied, and I had lacked the self-confidence. As a result, the self-esteem. And this really disempowered me. And I knew that one day I want to inspire other women, that it's not about your body, it doesn't matter your shape, your size. I want to welcome you into my community. And so this is what I did. And this is how this fitness studio was born and out of a vision that I had. And so that's my story into entrepreneurship, how that began. But then how my story really shapes up in the sense that when I, as a teenager, as I said, I was bullied at school. I lacked the confidence and the self-esteem that really disempowered me to move forward in life. And this is what happens when we face the adversities of bullying or a divorce. Most women, we tend to give up. We tend to give up. We don't want to blossom into a gorgeous butterfly. And this is, if you look in my book, From Cocoon to CEO, Living the Life of Your Dreams, it has butterflies. And the metaphor and the analogy of the butterfly, it gives you freedom to fly. It really does give you the freedom to fly. And for the first time, when I got the two girls expelled at school, I had the freedom. I was then flying. I was then doing very well at school. Fast forward, into how then my life began at the age of 30 is when everything started to shift. I had two small kids. I had to look, I was building my career, I was rebuilding my life and taking care of my kids. But what I want to share is that for women who are going through adversities, you're going through difficult, challenging times, is not to give up. You need to follow your dreams. You need to follow what your gut intuition is telling you, right? For me, it was easy. I could have given up. I could have given up and said, well, this is business, running a business, your first business is difficult. I can't do this. But no, I wanted to see my dreams come true. And for every other woman out there listening to your show, you got to follow your dreams. You got to follow what you want to do and get out of life. So I feel I'm just very multifaceted. I'm an author of my book, From Cocoon to CEO, Living the Life of Your Dreams. And today I'm a woman's empowerment advocate.
I love it, Alka. I couldn't stop you because everything you just said hits home in so many ways. And
Mhm.
I know the audience will love you. And thank you for being so open and sharing. Wow, I can imagine it wasn't easy for you. Be
No.
starting,
Mhm.
especially bullying. It's wow, that's really difficult to deal with at such an early age. Unfortunately, nowadays that's still happening. And I love that you had the courage to open your fitness studio. And the reason behind it's even greater. So congratulations for that. You
Thank you.
also went through the divorce, Alka. So
Mhm.
another challenge, which I guess it made you a stronger woman. How that was for you?
Well, when I reflect back on how my life was when I was in the marriage, it was a toxic relationship and, it felt like hell. And when I reflect back on what it taught me, because every stage in our life teaches us in your marriage, with relationship, it teaches you as to who are you becoming? What is your purpose? What do you want to be in life? What is your purpose to achieve? And so no, it was not easy for me when, I got divorced. But what I felt internally was that it was up to me. It was up to me to rebuild my life. It was up to me to take, whilst I had my kids as well, I was responsible, not for me. And for the audience out there, you are not responsible for you. You are responsible for your children. If you're going through that difficult period in your life, is who are you responsible to? And so, Roxandra, I was responsible for my children. So therefore, I had to take the ownership of how was I now to navigate my life? How was I now to rebuild my life that I lost? I mean, when I got divorced, I was broke. I was broke financially, mentally, and emotionally broke. And this, every day, yes, tears would roll down my eyes. Like, how am I to not navigate life? But what gave me the strength to carry on was the hope. And we have to live in the hope. We have to persevere. We have to follow as to what we want to do and how we're rebuilding our life. So,
That's
yeah, life is never a linear, it throws curveballs, but because it throws you curveballs, is how are you able to get over, above, and under those curveballs and those difficult times?
Alka, you are incredible. You are so inspirational, and you definitely have that empowerment in you. So I could see you on big stages. If you ever consider public speaking, go for it. Go for it. If you're doing it, even better. Share us the link so we can see more of you because your voice is so powerful. I love when
Thank
you
you.
mention, you're welcome. It's just you mentioned so much about confidence and hope and those things that we do need. Follow your dreams. You definitely, you're living now in the life that you want. So you are creating your life, and the book definitely reflects that. So can we find the book on Amazon, or from where can we buy it? And tell us a bit
Absolutely.
the story behind the book. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, the book is available on Amazon. Soon it's going to be released on my website. So, I'm going to be releasing courses coming soon so that, you're welcome to get the book on the website. But then how that journey began to writing my first book, it came from my story. And, when I found, the divorce was, imminent, then I decided to share my story. And the tools that I share in my book are the three main tools: courage, the determination, and the will. The courage,
Mm.
determination, the will really helps you to understand, okay, when you are facing those adversities, what do you need to do first? When you are wanting to get out of the relationship, you have to have the courage. And for most women, they do not have the courage. And statistics show that why do people stay in relationships over and over again, or why do they go back to the toxic, bad relationships? It's because they don't have the courage, or they feel they don't have the self-worth.
Mm.
And so these are the principles that I really share in my book: the courage to lead, the courage to know as to you are building your life. You are not in the shadows of someone. And I was in the shadows in my marriage. I was seen. I was not heard. I was never allowed to express myself. I was never allowed to, I was always submissive, just stay where I am and shut up, this is what I was told. So I was seen but not heard. And I think now is the time that we need to change. We have to change the narrative for all women out there, for your audience, is to know that you have the self-worth, you are worthy, and you have everything you need to succeed. So that's tip number one: the courage. The determination. Determination follows the courage. How determined are you to see your life? Not who other people tell you how you need to live your life, but are you determined to follow your goals, to have a business, for example? Are you following your dreams so that nothing is coming in your way? Nothing is going to tell you that you are succeeding. So you've got to be determined to see your life going forward, and determined to follow your dreams and your goals. And then point number three is the willpower. The willpower is the internal confidence that you have, the willpower that pushes you through, that gives you the strength, that tells you, yes, you've done it. You've succeeded in the business you wanted to endeavor you went into. You did not give up. And the willpower is there to tell you that you are on your way and the path that you are succeeding in. So these are the three main principles in my book. I mean, there's just so much, but this is how the journey when I began to write my book was based off of my story.
Congratulations. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing that. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I will definitely go and check it out. I love to read those type of books, especially if they're
Uh-huh.
real stories and what have you
Right.
learned. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. Now, you mentioned early on, Alka, that you've been broke financially, emotionally, and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done the first few steps? Which of those three areas of your life started to heal? Where was your focus?
Right. Absolutely. Great question. When anyone goes through adversities of this magnitude of a divorce, it leaves most women, they are distraught and they don't know as to where they need to, how they need to navigate their lives and what they need to do to move forward. And so for me, I had to do a lot of healing. And the first step, the first thing I did was the internal healing. It's never about the external, oh, your friends or your family can make you feel better. No, it's how are you feeling better about you to start with. So for me, it was a long time, Roxana. I began, to really know who I was because even in my marriage, I lost my identity. Who was Alka? I lost who I was at that time. And so I had to do a lot of internal work, a lot of work. And then when I say a lot, maybe about a year or two, I really wanted to be by myself. I really wanted to focus on me so that I brought myself back up to who I was. And this is what we need to do. We need to start with ourselves. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to give yourself that permission to say, look, just leave me alone. This is what I'm doing. I need to heal. And the healing process is a long journey, Roxandra, as you may know. It's a long journey. We got to do it, but you got to give it time. And so I would say that's one of the first things that I did when I found myself in the situation. Then, as I began to heal and I began to feel better, I began to feel good, then I began to focus on, okay, well, I need to learn about money. I need to bring back my finances. So everything was a gradual process that brought me to where I am today. And you gotta do that. You gotta follow that step. You gotta be on that journey. But what I will say is never give up. Never give up as to who you are becoming. That gorgeous woman internally, you are gorgeous. You have the self-worth, you have the self-confidence, and you are worthy of, accepting things that come your way. So I
Fan-
would say those are the two biggest. One being you got to do a lot of internal work.
Phenomenal, Alka. Wow, that's so transformational. Honestly, I can see the potential. You can be a transformational coach. You can be, wow, you can be so much based on what you've
Oh,
been
thank
through
you.
and how you raised. And like you said, like a butterfly. By the way, I have my logo with butterflies. And whenever someone wants to be part of
Nice.
the show, I send me butterflies. So this is, so I love it. I love it. I love it. I
Well,
love
there's
it.
synergy right there.
It is absolutely, yes. We are aligned. So, Alka, you've been through all of this, and now you are such a successful woman, entrepreneur, I can call it. So, Toronto knows you for being that amazing, wonderful real estate investor. Tell us
Mhm.
a bit about this story and this part of your life. And congratulations. I know you're all about meeting your clients' needs, making them feeling valued, making the best investments. And this was because you wanted that financial freedom. So
Mhm.
please tell us about that.
Absolutely. Well, the journey actually began when I was broke. I was broke, financially. Nothing was given to me, and I had to work it. I had to find my way in life, and I had to do everything on my own. There was no support system, family or friends. I had to do everything on my own to find, okay, well, who do I need to talk to build myself? And so that's how that started. When I was broke, I went into the bank and I was guided by my godparents, and they said, well, this is what you need to do to set yourself up to stand on your own feet, what you need to do. And so I just walked in the bank and I spoke to one of the financial advisors because they are always there to help to guide you in your life and what are you doing with your money and finances, etc. And this is how that started. And as I began to really, pay close attention to, the money and the finances, what I was doing every time when I haven't got my paycheck every month, what was I doing? And this is what's really important for all the single mothers out there. You need to know that, as I mentioned, that you are responsible for your kids and you have to build yourself, rebuild your life in your career, in your financial situation, so that when you are better able and confident in money management, then you are able to take control of your life. And now your life really begins to take control. You are now in control of your life and you are in control of your money. And this is what I say to everyone. You have to be in control of money, not the other way around, not to let money be in control of you. And this is what I learned very earlier on. And as I began to, pay close attention as to what I was doing, number one, pay close attention. Then I was building my life and now I was building confidence. And then I knew that, real estate was the vehicle that I really wanted to get into. I would hear so many people talk about real estate. It's one of the best vehicles. I didn't really care about stocks or, crypto or anything because those are volatile and they can go down anytime. But real estate, no matter what the market, the downturn, the upturn in the market, real estate is cash flow, is the property equity is growing in the property. So you just can't go wrong. And so this is what I learned earlier on, that this was so good for me to invest in real estate. And then I wanted to just inspire other women as I inspired women when I opened my fitness studio. So the whole journey really began how I inspired myself, but then through the process of inspiring myself as to building my life, I wanted to help other women out there so that you can start to live your life, rebuild your life with confidence, and have the knowledge firsthand as to what you need to do with money, finances, saving money, very, very important, saving money. And then once you begin to save, then as your money is compounding, in the bank, this is now you have so much control in you. And this is how financial freedom is built. It's built on you managing and how are you stacking your money so that money is working for you now. So it's one of the best ways. So this is how that journey started.
That's amazing, Alka. I can relate so much. I used to work as a banking consultant
Uh-huh.
ages ago. So I
Right.
remember when I always wanted to work either in finance or real estate. Like those were my two things. Like after teaching and everything, I was like, oh, I need some money. How do you make money? Work with money, work for money. So I love it. Now let's talk a little bit about investments. Okay. So I
Uh-huh.
agree with you 100%. Properties, yeah, whenever I have some spare cash, I will invest it there. I'll be like, yes, let's go for it. What would you say is your secret to success as a really good investor?
That's a great question. Great question. I would say the secret to my success as an investor is to know where my money is being spent. Where my money is being spent. I'm very careful. I'm very calculative. I calculate as to, if it's a real estate property, for example, that I want to invest in, or somebody approaches an investment, I'm always looking at the numbers. I'm always looking at the numbers. Is that the right deal? Because it's all about the numbers, in properties. It's about the numbers, the NOI, the net operating income of that property. And so you've got to know what is the net operating income would tell you immediately if it's a right property or not, if it's cash flowing or not. So the secret to my success is that I'm always evaluating. I'm always like looking into, is this a good investment? Am I going to get the return on my money immediately? I mean, there are some properties. I'm just talking to a friend who approached an investment that she wants me to get into. And so when I looked into it, it's a long-term play. And sometimes, most people are comfortable with that. They would invest, for a long term. But sometimes, yes, for me, I will do that. So, I could invest in long term or I could invest in short term. But at the end of the day, it's about the numbers game. Do the numbers make sense? Does that property cash flow? And when is that return on my investment that I'm going to get back? So you always got to evaluate and always make sure that it's going to be the right fit for you.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Alka. That's a great advice. Really, really good. Are you investing in something else or is just the real estate?
No, just in real estate. Yeah.
Right, okay, that's great. So, are you teaching your children about finances and about investments?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm always teaching them because you know why? Why children need to have that learning. Because I feel that as parents, it's our duty, it's our obligation, it's our responsibility, so that when children, grow into adulthood, they are not left behind. They are not, they are going to be more self-sufficient and self-reliant, and that's the key right there, being self-reliant. Like when I reflect on my life in my marriage, I wasn't told about finances. I wasn't told how much money we had in the bank account. I wasn't told nothing. And so for me, I had to navigate life the hard way. I had to learn everything on my own to just make sure that I was living. um but to teach children, I think nowadays is very, very important. You can't give money to your children. Like, for example, if you're leaving a legacy, you can't leave all that money to your children because you never know. I mean, God forbid, if you pass away and your children are now left with that money, $1 million, say, for example, who knows what your children will do with that money? Some people, some kids, I'm not saying all kids, but some kids, if your mindset is not in the right direction, your mindset, you will dissolve that money. Money, because money is energy, as you know. Money can come to you, but money can easily go away. And so if that $1 million that as parents you've left that and that money is gone, then you have not taught your children. And I think it's very irresponsible of parents to not teach their children because
I love that.
they
I
have to,
l-
because, right?
yes, I love it. I love it. Like goes back to what you said early on. We are responsible for them and for their future. So definitely give them the life skills that they need in order to be okay with their mindset. So then they know they can make from 1 million, 10 millions, right? Instead of
Yes.
spending it. I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. Alka, I have to say, you are such a powerhouse. You are honestly incredible, phenomenal, brilliant. I have so many words I could honestly describe you. Your story, it's so, so incredible. And you've been through so much. And I'm just so grateful that I have you in my life. And I'm just so glad
Thank
that,
you.
thank you as well, Alka. Before I let you go, thank you again for taking the time. I know you're a very busy woman. I really appreciate you being in the show. What be you means to you?
Wow. Be you. What that means to me is you got to be vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable. You've got to be okay with who you are. You got to be okay with, being by yourself. You got to be expressive, and those thoughts that come to you, if you don't feel okay, just be you, because being you is the woman that is powerful. Being you, being vulnerable.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's clap for Alka. It was wonderful. It was a brilliant episode. We'll put all the details so you can get in touch with Alka. You can go and check her book, go and connect with her. If you want to be a guest speaker, she's always looking for guest speakers. Please go ask the experts with Alka. Amazing podcast. Check it on YouTube as well. She's on all sort of platforms. So just go connect with her. Send her butterfly so she knows you're coming from this beautiful community. And then she will have her arms open to welcome you in her world. Thank you so much, Alka. And whoever
Thank you,
listen,
Roxandra.
you're more than welcome, darling. Thank you. So this is all from today, and I still have that slot available. Send me the fire if you want to really, really go big. Let's go and change your business. Let's go and scale it. Let's really find the you who really wants to love her business and really live the life that she wants. So this is all from today. Remember, keep on shining, keep on smiling. Be You podcast continues. Bye.